Hi, it's MissNikkiAnn. Just wanted to connect with you guys and let you know that, yeah, that didn't end well for me. On Sunday, um, I was standing in the kitchen and began having a mini stroke, which is a TIA. Um, and so I said to my 5-year-old, I said, if things don't go well, run across the street. And we live at a dead end, so it's safe. It's not like it's a busy street. Run across the street and tell the neighbors to come. Because my mom, who doesn't get out much because she's always caring for me and my son, she had gone to church and then a banquet. Um, so it was a special day for her. Well, not church. She goes to church all the time. She's always there. But the banquet was, we live in Connecticut, and the banquet was in Massachusetts. So she was far away, and I told her to go, that we will be fine, that I would just remain lying down, and I did until I began to take, I was feeling funny lying down. I took my pressure, and I couldn't get a reading. And so I said, oh man, my batteries are real low. Let me go plug it in. So I said, that'll be good anyway. I can do my orthostatics. And so I was standing and couldn't get a reading. I was like, what is that? So I did it over and over again. And I'm sick, getting sicker by the minute and delirious. And so finally I got the reading, and it was really low. I don't know. Well, somehow, well, low meaning, well, it shot up. It was like 90 something or whatever, and my pulse was 140. And so it wasn't getting a reading because there wasn't a reading to get. It was so low that the machine couldn't get a number. And so as far as my blood pressure, and so, and I have many strokes, which my cardiologist, my rheumatologist, and my original neurologist believe are separate from my dysautonomia. But I'll come to another piece of that in a second. So I'm used to them, and it's just to be careful that if you have too many, once you're on a roll, when you have too many, you can actually have a real stroke. You're at risk for a real stroke. I guess after a few, the average person ends up having a real stroke. So my son, at some point, because I went delirious, and he ran and got the neighbors, and she sat me down. We could finally get a pressure reading, and then I began with my body tremors. My body's swirling, it jerks, and my fingers tight. But she tried to sit me down. Okay, then she said, you need to lie down. So she got me up, and the stroke is still going because my events last pretty long. They're not fast, my transient strokes. And so I couldn't get my feet to move. And I remember saying, oh my God, I can't move my feet. And I was having to tell my feet, like I was reteaching myself to walk. Like, you need to lift up the left foot. I'm telling the brain, okay, you need to lift up the right foot. It wasn't a far walk, so I only had to do that. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And then I was on my Chase lounge in my living room. And I just remember saying that was a defining moment for me, because that had never happened. I mean, of course, I went numb on my left side and all of those things. And then I began some really bad body tremors. But that's still normal. They phoned my mom. She came in from Mass and started to do, gave me the Bear aspirin. Well, no, she had told them over the phone to do that. And I always forget when I'm in the stroke because I'm in the stroke. And so I took my Bear aspirin, which I'm supposed to be on every day, but at some point I stopped that too, just because I don't have them often enough. And so, and I told the doctor that I had stopped, the neurologist. He was like, that's fine because they're TIAs, and when it's happening, just be sure to take one. And so, I'm not feeling well, guys. I'm on my way. Okay, so let me keep going here. And so the rest of the day was really bad. Pressure lying down was low. The pain was intense. Body tremors were intense. So fine. The next day, which was yesterday, And, everyone's looking at us like, I know they want to say, you guys don't call the ambulance, but I just kept saying, this is normal for us. This is very normal. And we know what to do. But yesterday, I decided to ride with my mom on the long commute, which is 30 plus minutes to drop my son off. So I'm upright, driving up and driving back. So that there is at least an hour. And then she went in the grocery store just for a minute. All of a sudden, boom, it started again. And so I called her. I said, Mom, it's happening again. I feel it coming on, because I usually feel it. And I was like, could you come out and bring me to urgent care? I didn't want to go to the ER because oh my gosh. And so they'll kill us there. And so she took me to urgent care. And I was telling the nurse, she took my pressure. She's like, well, your pressure's okay. I said, no. And I've seen her before. I was like, remember, I'm orthostatic intolerant. And all of this, I'm trying to talk through a brain fog and through body tremors. My body was just jerking, and through the pain and the numbness. I couldn't feel my left side. And then I couldn't move my left foot. Was talking to my left foot. My brain was, I'm like going, move left foot, move. And I said, but if you stand me up for at least 5 minutes, it'll drop. I stood up, and when it dropped, what was it? That 50 points. When the top number, I'm going to drop to 50 points, and then my pressure went up to 140 immediately. And I was still standing. I was convinced that I should stand. And she's like, nope, I got it. If you go any lower, I'm thinking I meet myself. That's nothing. And I'll go way lower and still not faint if I can move shift my body. Like on the tilt table, I couldn't move, and so it's like, if I can shift my body, my heart seems to have, even with the low pressure, the strength to keep me upright if I can shift and move. And so then the doctor comes in, and he's just like, oh my gosh. And he's asking me all the questions I'm answering relate to a stroke. And I'm just saying to him, it's nothing. He's like, well, why did you come if you think it's nothing? I said, well, because you shouldn't have more than one. It becomes dangerous. And I just wanted you guys to be sure. And he's like, and I'm a little delirious. So what I'm saying is not making sense. You're there because I was like, I have a 5-year-old, and I just need to be sure that everything's okay. I have him to tend to in life. And I said, well, what would you do if I was one of your family members? And he looked down at my chart, because they have history on me. He's like, with this, I can't. He just was baffled. I have no words for this. And you need to be at the emergency room. They call my mom, because I sent Mom home. This is how used to these episodes we are. I'm like, Mom, yeah, go drop the ice cream off at the house. He's like, your mom? I'm like, yeah. I can barely talk to him. All this is numb. I can't move my left foot. And he went to check my legs and do all the tests. And the left wasn't. It was very weak compared to the right. He called, and he was like, we need to take her to the ER. Now, either you want to drive her or the ambulance. She was like, I can't handle her because she can't. So you call the ambulance, and then I'll drive behind them. When I got in, and all the commotion, and they'd never put the siren on, and they were calling in numbers, and I'm jerking in there, and I'm stuck in positions. I'm stuck, like my fingers all, from the tremors, I'm getting stuck, and then I'm telling them it's okay, it's normal, it's a little embarrassing, but I get stuck in these spots with my fingers, and it looks funny, but it's normal. And they're just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, the one thing I was adamant about, and the one guy, he knew about dysautonomia. I've had him before, these two guys who know about. I'm like, do not give me regular saline anymore. He gave me the Zofran because with the mini stroke, you're vomiting or gagging, so I'm gagging. And so he gave me Zofran to calm that. He put my IV in, but not the fluid. I was trying to remember. I was like, it's D5 N saline. I just kept saying N. And he was like, so no, it's got to be D5W. It's got to be D5W. What's N? And N is normal, but he doesn't know that. He's like, we're not going to give you anything if it's just going to make your dysautonomia worse. And we already have one problem to tend to. We'll do it when we get there, because they get the notes from my doctor, my rheumatologist. And Mom had called her, and she faxed over and called and talked to the ER. So I got the right saline as soon as I went in. It's the first time, guys. But when they walked me through the ER, as soon as I hit the doors, I went into a seizure. And the nurse said my body was, because when she asked me about it, I'm like, no, tremors are normal. She said, honey, what you had, what I saw when you came in through the door, that's not a body tremor. I know what body tremors are. That was a full seizure, to where my body was jerking itself off the gurney down to the bottom. And so they ran tests, which, you know, with a mini stroke, you're not going to see anything on the CAT scan. My blood work, aside from anemia and leukopenia, is going to look fine. I don't have a potassium problem. And the nurse comes in and she's like, yeah, the doctor's saying your stuff looks fine. And I said to the nurse, okay, guys, I'm going to cut this one short, and then I'm going to do another one, so it'll be in 2 pieces. I know which part I'm on. Okay, the nurse part. Okay. Okay, now what do I do? Be right back.